Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube's Friday Night Breakdown. I'm here with DOZ 101. How you doing?
Uh, God damn it. We had to go get our money in Saudi Arabia because, here in the States, this shit doesn't work. You people need to come to my events more often. Uh, but the Saudi government, thank you for paying me. But I'm glad to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here as well, Jose.
Mhm.
We're going to be basically talking about what happened in wrestling this past week, most notably the Elimination Chamber,
And why we're
which
not
is,
excited for Wrestlemania.
yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I haven't been excited in WrestleMania for fucking years, man.
Hmm.
Like WrestleMania for me is a goddamn marathon. Okay, here we go. Make sure you got enough caffeinated drinks ready, but this is a long one. You
Did you
know what
see?
I mean?
Did you see Dutch Mantel's recent video? It came out like 10 days ago, and he said exactly what you just said. He said that it's a marathon, like
Yeah, I
watching
saw it.
WWE
He was talking
program.
to
Yeah,
is it Van Flint
Van
or what the
Vliet.
fuck is?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some shit like Chris Van Vilt or whatever the fuck his name is. I
Mhm.
caught that. I like Dutch Mantel. He knows the business, and he's a wise head. He's been around the block for a long time, and yeah, I was very fascinated to hear what he has to say.
Yep.
And I think he's like a lot of other guys. He's kind of lucky in a way that he's made what he's had to make from the business, because obviously he was around during a time when the business, well, not saying necessarily booming, but it was more expanded.
Mhm.
There's more people, various people watching it in various parts of the world. Nowadays, it's all like monopolized by a couple of people, and the access is not there. Kayfabe is broken. I mean, it's just not the same as it once was, unfortunately.
Mm-mm.
I think the lack of sorry to go on a tangent here,
Oh, let's
but I
go.
think
This is what we do.
once people the cat was out the bag and everybody knew. It was no longer like, is it real? Is it not real? All that shit. Everybody knew. That
Hmm.
was it. It was game. It was always going to be a decline after that.
Yep. I
Yeah.
knew it was. I
So
knew it was over after the Monday Night Wars when Vince bought everybody out. That was the end.
yeah, there was no competition for Vince, so you can fucking jerk himself off to to the end, and never have to worry about somebody taking on his territory. And then you got little TNA who just tried to get too big for their boots too soon, and with Dixie Carter not knowing that she's got a great thing there, bringing in Hogan and Bischoff just to destroy it, like the same way they
Hmm.
did with fucking WCW. It's so stupid of her. And AEW, like, it's good and it's trying to be a bit more adult, but it's not necessarily reinventing the wheel
Mm-mm.
either. And they're getting a lot of ex WWE guys, which is fine in my opinion, because like, where the hell are you going to get wrestlers from at times?
Actually,
And
this is a good segue because speaking of this past week, let's get started with this. Out of all the recent releases to say "fuck off," Cesaro said "fuck off," and
yeah, he's a man of
he
many
decided
talents,
to
though, isn't
go.
he?
Yep.
He's a man
But
of many talents. Yeah,
here's the thing about Cesaro, though, and I know this might piss people off. Cesaro is a great wrestler, but he's not a great promo guy. I've never heard Cesaro had that like great string of promos. Like
yeah.
he can have like a 5-star match all day, but until he can talk, I don't know if he'll ever be real main event material.
Well, that's the funny thing for me. Like,
Hmm.
for me, I'd rather have a guy who can wrestle than can talk. I mean, being able to talk is the bonus,
Hmm.
but you need to be good in the ring. Like, there were people who were just average talkers, in my opinion, like Benoit,
Yeah.
for instance. RVD, as Bandit has said right here. I'm
Yep.
not saying that they weren't capable of talking. Yeah, you could put them on the mic and they'll deliver a speech or whatever. They might not necessarily have the right tones at the right places. Like Jeff Hardy was
Right.
another one as well. Maybe to a degree, he got better, but nevertheless, he wasn't the best. Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
and guys like that. Like they were just average talkers. They weren't able to act it
Hmm.
as well, and but their wrestling is what made them, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So so Cesaro is not the best talker in the world.
But he
All I
can.
care, yeah, I want him to
He's
wrestle, mate.
yeah. He's got his niche, and he'll
And then,
be
English,
and
yeah,
he'll
with
be
the
all
accent
right.
as well.
Yeah.
English being his third or second language. But the guy can speak multiple. Like, there's a way of getting the most out of him, but they just made him being multilingual into a stupid gimmick, which only lasted a few weeks before they abandoned that.
And then he had a
You know what I
yodeling
mean?
gimmick that lasted like a cup of coffee
Oh
too that no one
God.
talks about.
You know what I mean? Because what do we know about Swiss people? Well, Facebook user here. Let me just find out who this Facebook user is.
Chips and gravy.
Facebook user. Good evening. Oh, this is my friend,
Yep.
my northern friend who lives in Germany. Geez, I need some chips and gravy. Oh, how about some biscuits and gravy?
Jesse and Festus.
There'll be some biscuits and gravy. Yeah, that'll wake you up from a slumber as well
Oh,
as a
yeah.
bell. Yeah. So
All right, but if we're gonna go ahead and break down the card, let's get into it.
All right. First of all, we had Chunky Mysterio, dressed up like a fucking like a Quality Street candy.
Money.
You do you get Quality Street in your country?
I don't think we do.
I'll try and find the picture in the meantime.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where like Rey Mysterio is covered in tattoos, and a lot of them are quite religious ones, and I think he was there just to he was dressed the way he was just to not offend the Saudi people, cover up some of his Christianity shit on his body, and obviously then pander to the Saudis by looking like a walking version of their fucking flag. So yeah, let me just quickly show you what I thought Rey Mysterio looked like. Yeah, he looked like this to me.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see what you
These
mean.
are Quality Streets. The green Quality Street.
They also look like fucking D&D dice.
Yeah, so yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
but he went up against the Miz, and it was actually a really good match. It was one of the better matches on the show. Yeah.
When you got Rey Mysterio, like I've always said with Rey Mysterio, when you got him in the match, you're gonna get a good match out of him because he's able to add a bit of springing in his step. He's very good at working with guys bigger than him because he's done that most of the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he reminded you. Yes, he did. Yeah, and you're welcome to join us, by the way, Wrestling Lowdown. If you want to join us on this debate, if you saw the Elimination Chamber, that is. But yeah,
I don't even know if there'll really be much of a debate. I think we'll mostly be on the same page about all this shit, but we'll see how it goes.
He did look like Judah Mars, so that's a good shout, by the way. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the better matches on the night, and it was the pre-show match. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Sorry, my bird is making a lot of noise. If you can hear that,
it's all good.
Come on, bird, get the hell out of there. She's gonna turn us up into KFC if she keeps chewing on my fucking wires. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Zam and D Jose send some Quality Street. It makes sense. Yes, okay.
If I would if I could. Yeah,
it's in the mail. I promise you right now. I'm already sending it to you. Okay. So this was a decent match. Obviously, you had Dominic in Ray's corner. So when it came to Miz saving face to a degree, he kind of got the heel treatment from faces, which is always unusual. But I like it personally. I like the switcheroo and things with double team faces on the heel and stuff like that to get one over on the cocky heel and stuff like that. No Maurice, by the way, because she would have fucking, sent the crowd to Bonneville. Yeah, we'll get onto that in a bit regarding some of the women matches. But nevertheless, Rey Mysterio beating the Miz, by pinfall. It was a good match. We saw a double 619 by the Mysterios as well. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. You got two veterans of the ring, knowing how to warm people up. I knew Mysterio was going to win as well because you're not going to
dress a guy up in Saudi Arabia gear, and
yeah, as well as he's one of the biggest faces.
Zam is cutting out on the stream, y'all. I think you're starting to cut out. Yeah. Greetings, Block.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Am I still about? Can you still hear me?
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I just don't understand how all this shit works. For opening match, you got the guy looking like the Saudi flag. He's gonna win the fucking match. He's a fan favorite. All of that. The Eddie chants were there as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dominic did have the Eddie mullet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that was a good way to start. Decent match, in my opinion. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. as a good crowd opener. You know, you never, for far as I'm concerned, because this is why Mysterio was my favorite wrestler, because you just can't go wrong with Rey Mysterio, in my opinion. He will always, even when he's doing his textbook moves in a match, sometimes you'll find a bit of uniqueness coming out of Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's able to pull a rabbit out of the hat now and again, whether he wins or loses.
Yeah,
good match.
It was a good match. And then to follow up on that, this is one reason I'm not excited for WrestleMania. They proceed to fuck it up by having The Miz come out the next night on Raw and then be all like, we're going to make this into a tag team match play at WrestleMania. And my partner, Logan fucking Paul, of all people, is going to be teaming up with The Miz to face the Mysterios at WrestleMania. And I couldn't give two shits about that match.
I never knew who Logan Paul was until he was fighting KSI.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about KSI because I was a FIFA fan and KSI did FIFA videos. You know, KSI has left the FIFA game a long time ago now. You know, nevertheless, the guy's like a fucking multi-millionaire now, doing all types of shit. But Logan Paul, I had no idea who he was. He was also a YouTuber. He's now become something else.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, boxer. I think he'd become a boxer. He fought for Floyd Mayweather. That was a fascinating fight because he's much bigger than Mayweather. So he's got the weight and height advantage, but Mayweather still took him to school, which is kind of cool to see. But nevertheless, yeah, like it's not as bad as Snooki. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? Snooki was the worst, but at least Snooki can do some gymnastics, which just was kind of remarkable. Yeah. All right, Dominic had Eddie's mullet. Oh yeah, he's gonna have the Eddie mustache. No, he's gonna have the Eddie mustache soon enough. I'm telling you. So Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. You know, can Goldberg stop injuring himself in anything he does?
I know. Stop cutting yourself on the top of your head, man. Like he fucking nicked his head. I don't know if he did that like shaving or some such shit, but he fucking cut his head open somehow.
I think he just cut his head just by colliding his head into Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he done a spear on Roman Reigns. I think his head might have made contact with Roman's forearm, which might have been like taped up and stuff like that.
Yep.
With some wrestling tape, and that just might have caused a little nick. But it just seems to be something Goldberg has been constantly doing. The guy is a walking injury waiting to happen. You know, all right, he might get over an injury, but you know that in a match he will get fucking injured, and that's how it's been lately for him. No more comebacks for Goldberg, in my opinion. This was a cringe match. It really was. It was a cringe match. It was not a good match at all. I did not like how it ended, and because Goldberg is like a fatigue machine. You know, the guy's got no gas in his tank. You know, when you fuel him, he's already empty.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
he's like that old. He's like that old classic car that, like, you admire the old classic car, but you know it cannot go anymore. That's what Goldberg kind of reminds me of. It's that old classic car.
No, I'm sorry, you're doing him too much. You're doing too much of a service. He's one of those mobile phones that no longer has decent battery life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And it's time for a new phone. Yeah.
And it's not just that, but that phone already had shit battery life when you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's got even shitter battery life.
And the motherfucker
old.
And the motherfucker and here's something to make you crack the fuck up.
Yeah.
The motherfucker said he was the Mike Tyson of pro wrestling in his era. I'm like, bruh, Goldberg. No. Mike Tyson was good at what he did.
Maybe Austin was the Mike Tyson of pro wrestling. Goldberg, I don't know what Goldberg is, but I'll tell you what Goldberg, his gimmick, funnily enough, was that of an MMA fighter, which is what a lot of people said his gimmick was. But he's no MMA fighter. If he was ever in the MMA, he would be fucked over, by the way, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just don't even come across as he doesn't even come across as intimidating anymore. Don't get me wrong. If I was against Goldberg, I'll shit my pants. But you know, when he's doing his like you're fucking next, all that bollocks. It's like, oh, fuck off, Goldberg. Go to a retirement home, mate.
Yeah.
But anyway,
if they were gonna put Goldberg and Matt Riddle in the ring together and they said shoot on each other, Goldberg would be fucking dead. That's just how it would go.
Yeah, exactly. But in this match,
My only complaint about the match is I would have liked to have seen Goldberg tap out. That's how it should have ended. Instead of passing out, going the cheap route, he should have tapped out. Make the guillotine.
I think tapping out would have been a lot better than passing out. And passing out, far as I'm concerned, made him look, because the match wasn't that long.
No,
and
it only was like 5 minutes and 50-something seconds.
If the match went the distance and he passed out, yeah, fair enough. But as far as I'm concerned, him passing out, after 3 minutes, just made him look weaker. It would have been better if he fucking tapped.
Yep.
In my opinion, this match was a fucking joke. Yeah.
Yeah. And we know what this was. We all know that it was Goldberg being fed to Roman so they can get ready for what's to come at the end. And you guys know, but we'll get there.
This is the definition of a pay-per-view filler, And I just want to, before we continue talking about this pay-per-view, what I've noticed is a bit of a trend with the WWE. Like, they'll come to a new part of the world and lavish them with beautiful stuff, and then once they've been there a few times, they just give them the norm. Like when WWE would come to the United Kingdom to do Raw, it really did feel like a special event, almost pay-per-view like.
Yeah.
Great matches. Obviously, John Cena and Shawn Michaels being one of them.
Probably the best match in overseas history that they've ever done. Yeah. I don't think anything will top that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's the Shawn Michaels versus, so there's Bret Hart versus British Bulldog, which wasn't too bad, considering Bulldog was high as a fucking kite in that match. But yeah, I think that's the best match. But it's just generally one of the best matches, on Raw history, in my opinion. But on television, on free TV, but nevertheless, you used to have these amazing moments because these wrestlers would come overseas and give us special moments that we would always remember. But then after a while of coming overseas several times, it just became a regular shit. The speciality was gone. And same with the Saudi Arabia pay-per-views. When WWE first came to Saudi Arabia, what the opening match was on one of their pay-per-views?
John
Cena versus fucking Triple H. You know what I mean? They weren't fucking around. They were fucking giving the Saudis the whole fucking hog and then some.
And
Bulldog
was high as a kite.
Yeah.
Kite that night. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was, mate. Yes, he was. But and then they give us the greatest Royal Rumble. They give us fucking Brothers of Destruction versus DX. Undertaker versus Goldberg, first time ever. All of these memorable fucking moments, even though that match was an absolute disaster. Actually, even DX versus fucking Brothers of Destruction. It's a funny match. I can look back at it and laugh my ass off with Kane's fucking
mask coming off
and shit like that. And the bewilderment on fucking Taker's face, like he's trying to look scary, but he's wondering what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
I mean? And like the ring rust on HBK and shit like that, And so, but it's still, they tried to make it special, greatest Royal Rumble, 40-man Royal Rumble, and all this sort of shit. Yeah, but now they've been doing this so often that it's just become normal. Like this pay-per-view felt like it could have been done in the States, and it would just have been a regular fucking pay-per-view.
I equate this to your B-level pay-per-view, where it's like, okay, it's like, take for example, let me just name a name, like Night of Champions. That's what the fuck this reminded me of. It's like, okay, it's here. It's Night of Champions. We gotta kill time until like Survivor Series, for example, or whatever the fuck. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly. I mean, this obviously is the pay-per-view preview for WrestleMania, even though Royal Rumble feels more like that, but this is like the stopgap, isn't it? Like, okay, we need to fill in some fucking time, but fair enough. I just thought it would have been still a bit more spectacular, that because it was done in Saudi Arabia, but no, it wasn't. I mean, still to this day, the No Way Out pay-per-view, aka Elimination Chamber, that February pay-per-view, still had one of the most memorable moments is when Eddie beat Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
You'll never forget that. It's just one of the most. It still brings a smile to my fucking face. I mean, you talk about a crowd pleasing moment. That's WrestleMania level right there. And it was on the pay per view before, but nevertheless, let's continue. But regardless of the speciality of the overseas pay per views, once they've done them a handful of times, They don't give it the special treatment anymore. It just becomes a regular pay-per-view. And from now onwards, in my opinion, them going to Saudi Arabia, they're not going to pull out all the stops anymore. They're just gonna give them regular shit, you know.
As long as we get this at the end of the day, that's what we care about. That's
Oh yeah,
what
they're gonna get the money, but
yep.
they're not gonna fucking put the effort in
That's
making
exactly
it spectacular.
That's the point.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They made the effort before. Now they don't give a fuck about the effort. You know what I mean?
We grossed $1 billion, so fuck off.
So regarding the next match, now this is where my curiosity really started to kick in, because we are in Saudi Arabia, a country that does treat women like shit. You know what I mean? I do know some of the laws within that country has changed for the better, but still, when it comes to being a woman in Saudi Arabia, if you're born a woman in Saudi Arabia, honestly, you've drawn the short end of the stick, because you're not equal to the men out there. And I was always worried, you know, like initially when we had it was Natalia Neidhart versus Lacey Evans.
Yep.
Yeah, that match itself, that scared the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, initially, because they were, you know, I was wondering how the Saudis would take it. But then we had this match, and first of all, I have to say, you know, I did like the outfits all these girls were wearing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they looked great in those outfits. They weren't very revealing, yet they looked very professional, and they were still beautiful women at the same time. Like you couldn't ignore how gorgeous they looked. You know what I mean? And they still look very sexy, but they look very professional at the same time.
Yep.
You know, damn, this is not me defending the Saudis in any case regarding how they are. They don't, that these women don't have to be dressing up like they're going to the fucking beach every time they wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them look very professional, and people can still appreciate them as being fantastic athletes. But nevertheless, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Doudrop, Liv Morgan, Nikki Ash, and Rhea Ripley are in this chamber. Probably the better of the two chambers, in my opinion.
Ass. This was actually a really good fucking match. I really liked it. I thought, you know, like Bliss going into the chamber with her fucking swing, that fit her character, even though despite the fact they said that she's cured, but yet she's still acting fucking crazy. So I don't know where they're going with that. But
she's been crazy for a while, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
For a couple of years now, I feel like she's been doing this bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah,
they said that she's cured, so you know what that means. They're taking the lazy way out. They're like, okay, so she's magically cured because reasons.
Nevertheless, you know, I'm very happy that this match did happen in Saudi Arabia, because we are diluting the waters now, and we're letting more women wrestle. You know, little things though. Seeing Nikki Ash, you know, coming into the ring and giving a very, you know, her usual Nikki Ash sort of pose, but it's quite sexy and quite alluring. And she's doing it in Saudi Arabia. Like, okay, so you're gonna get a fucking hands and head chopped off afterwards? But not the case, though, you know. And you can't help but think like this, because everyone knows how backwards the country is. You know, Stephanie McMahon initially didn't come to Saudi Arabia when they first did their first Saudi Arabia thing. You know, she's the fucking daughter of the king. You know, I mean, being the princess and so on. You know, and there were some issues. You know, there weren't any women wrestlers at all in the first couple of pay-per-views, first 2 or 3 pay-per-views within Saudi Arabia. So I'm glad things are starting to move in the right direction. You know, if WWE, I think Vince McMahon's a fucking cunt, but if he can make some sort of inroads with this, and he's probably not doing it because he wants the best for the country, he just wants to make some fucking money. But nevertheless, if he can make some inroads by making being a woman more acceptable in a country where it isn't, then good for him. You know, good for yeah.
Yeah, if he could get that bag, that's what it is. As long as he gets that bag, don't care how you got to get it, he just want it.
I can't wait for her to look like a sack of potatoes. Me neither. Me neither. And by the way, who can't you wait? Are you talking about Alexa Bliss? Are you talking about her? Possibly. Or Nikki Ash. One or the other. Anyway, nevertheless, this was a decent match. All our ladies were in there. They were looking very good. My new favorite now is Doudrop. You know, representing the United Kingdom. Doudrop.
She's getting better. Yeah, she's stepping her game up big time.
She's a big girl who's not fucking injuring the other girls.
She is what Nia Jax was supposed to be. She's safe as fuck, and she knows how to work. Whereas Nia Jax,
yeah. she's a fellow Brit, a Scottish girl, and that's why I'm kind of liking her a bit, and she kind of reminds me of a female version of Fat Bastard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck
From
bastard.
Austin Powers. You know what I mean? So I'm liking that. Yeah. I was hoping Doudrop would win. Maybe in the future they can monster heal her up a little bit. But I'm not surprised Bianca Belair did win. I don't know. I find it kind of remarkable how she can wrestle with her hair being the way it is, because I keep thinking to myself, her hair is gonna fucking cause her to fucking do a botch.
Yeah.
I mean, has her
No,
hair
not
made
yet.
a botch?
Not yet.
Yeah, I really
one
feel
day,
there's a botch there, but she's a very agile, bit of a high flying female wrestler. So I just feel that one day she's gonna step on her hair and fuck herself up. But okay, fair enough. Bianca Belair won that match. And then we go straight into another women's match after this,
Oh, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. What?
Okay, this was Naomi and Ronda Rousey. They fought Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville.
Oh, getting
Now,
so
Sonya Deville, by the way, is actually openly gay, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And she
is what you
there.
told me.
Yep.
And she went there, so she obviously had to keep that shit stum.
And they couldn't say shit, because if like Michael Cole and Pat McAfee opened up their fucking mouths and bragged about it, that would have been it. It would have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't do that bullshit.
I agree. But nevertheless, all these girls came out in their onesies, but Ronda Rousey came out looking like
Ryu's long lost sister.
I was about to say possibly Hilary Swank from Karate Kid 4, but but nevertheless, Ronda Rousey comes out in a karate outfit, which is there's karate outfits, there's martial art outfits to be very not so practical, so to speak, because it's loose, and you can get untied and stuff. And she had to fight one-handed, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst cases of one-handedness.
I'm not gonna lie. I was making a cup of coffee during this match, so I don't really have shit to say about it. Because I was like, I do not care for Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair.
Let me tell you why I fucking hated this match.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Why I fucking hated this match is that, all right, Sonya Deville is selling the fact that she's got an arm in a sling. And then when she gets to the ring, she reveals, "Ooh, my arm
I'm not hurt."
And whilst Ronda Rousey's already had her arm tied, behind her back. And what does the referee do? He goes, "Yeah, we'll just continue from here.
Yeah.
We'll let things go." Like, the referee should immediately, in my opinion, uncuff Ronda Rousey. That's how it should work, because the match hasn't kicked off yet.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he just lets things go by like nothing has happened. Like no deceive has been made. He's not being fair. It's so stupid.
Of the thing I did get to catch, did you see how Ronda's fucking arm kept moving? Like they said it was tied behind her back. I'm like, no, it's not. Because if it was really tied, she wouldn't be able to move her fucking hand. By the end of the match, it was damn near down by her hip. And
it started off behind her back, but eventually the bonds got loose, and then it's ended up being a little bit more closer to her side by her hip and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just a stupid match, Luckily, you got a couple of really good wrestlers in there.
Yeah.
Like Naomi and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. Naomi was the MVP of this match. She hustled her ass off, and
she's got an ass that can hustle, man. So no problem there.
I mean, will WWE do anything? I doubt it. They're not going to capitalize on Naomi, but what do we know?
Yeah. I told Bossman when we were watching this match that Charlotte Flair is a better wrestler than Ric Flair, and he thought those are big controversial words there, but it's not, man.
No, once you've seen one Ric Flair match, you've seen all of them.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair is far superior than her dad. Her dad has got a long history, and he's been like, I mean, look at Hulk Hogan. He's not. No one thinks he's the best wrestler in the world. And Ric Flair, he's a much better wrestler than Hulk Hogan would ever be.
Yeah.
But Charlotte Flair is now taking it to another level. I mean, you watch her; she can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
She can do everything her dad can, and then some. And she still uses. I've noticed the fact that because she is a Flair, that she was very much living. I mean, she hasn't done this in a long time, in my opinion, but she was really living off her dad's gimmick like she was picking up some of her dad's mannerisms, like she was doing the old slaps across the chest, woo, and all that sort of shit.
Yep, working the legs and all that kind of shit like we used to do. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so we had this next match. Oh, by the way, Naomi and Ronda Rousey won that match. I forgot to mention that.
Who gives a shit?
So the next match had the botch of the night.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. We'll get into it.
Look, even someone who is looked upon as a proper worker like Drew McIntyre can fuck up now and again.
I know. That's what I was going to mention, but we ain't there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, but Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss now.
Yeah, this was the botch of the night. Yeah, this is the botch of the night. Yeah, definitely. I do agree. This was the, oh, God.
As somebody who saw Drew McIntyre, somebody who doesn't watch wrestling that much and only comes back now and again for the odd pay-per-view, watching this, thinking to myself, hold on, I did watch Drew McIntyre wrestle Brock Lesnar not too long ago for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And now he's fighting Madcap Moss, some dickhead who looks like a beached up version. Like, you got the Brooklyn Brawler. This is the Long Island Brawler.
He looks
what I mean? Yeah.
He looks like the GTA 6 character that you're gonna want to kill the second you play the game.
Yeah.
Come here, motherfucker.
Exactly. He does look like a guy you would make in a video game. You know what I mean? Just to dress him up. You make him really fucking tanky and give him braces and the blue shorts.
Give him a Hawaiian shirt and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, Madcap Moss, he was given a reverse Alabama slam by Drew McIntyre, and he landed right on the top of his head, and he took it well, and the show must go on. He managed to finish the match. He had Happy Corbin with him as well, just to obviously put pressure on Drew, but there was no way Drew was going to lose this match. And if Drew did lose this match, in my opinion, he was on his way down out of the card, if that was the case. You don't build up a guy like Drew McIntyre just to make him lose to fucking dickheads like Madcap Moss.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we all know where this is going anyway. We all know that it's going to be McIntyre versus Corbin at WrestleMania regardless, just for a spot on the card.
Even that doesn't sound too appealing.
No, and even then, this is a match that I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, exactly. But nevertheless, botch of the night. I'm sure Drew McIntyre must have been very apologetic to Madcap Moss backstage. Like I said, when you got somebody like Undertaker endorsing you, saying that I would like to wrestle you because he knows that he could, but Undertaker obviously wants a decent worker with him to take care of his old ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see someone like McIntyre do something like that to someone like Madcap Moss. Drew McIntyre probably thinking, shit, my reputation.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it happens to the best of us. Everyone gets an injury now and again. I think Madcap Moss is okay. There's not really been much talk about it. He was checked straight after the match, and then he was checked again later on.
Yep. He's
So yeah. Anyways, another thing regarding that match, that fucking sword, drop the sword, please.
Yeah, please.
You're asking for trouble. You really are.
He swung that damn sword, and I'm like, you do realize if you actually connect with that damn thing, WWE is going to get taken off the air easily. If you ever
accidentally make somebody, you're going to ruin somebody's life like You're going to ruin two people's lives. You're going to ruin McIntyre's life for possibly killing somebody or crippling somebody, and then you're going to ruin somebody else's life for possibly killing them and crippling them.
Can we just do Can we just go ahead and do how Mabel took the Undertaker's urn and melted the fucking thing, and then that was the end of the urn? Can we do that where we're like Baron Corbin takes the sword, breaks the sword, or does something to it, and then we never see it again? Can that at least be kind of what we do? That's all I ask.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not just that. I'm sure that sword is blunt as fuck. I'm not doubting that. But you have a very powerful man, swinging it and wielding it. So it's not like a blunt sword can't hurt somebody.
Yeah.
It's just
But can't we take the fucking thing and chuck it into the river somewhere or some shit, and then that's the end of the sword?
Yeah, because he's Scottish and they're Braveheart gimmicking him, and just put him in a fucking kilt. That's all you fucking need. You want to fucking make people remember that he's Scottish. put him in a fucking kilt. You don't need any more of this shit. Make him come out with a haggis if you want.
Yeah,
but you don't need.
If y'all don't stop this fucking I had to fight for my freedom looking ass bullshit, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to a match now that a lot of people praise, but I thought was not that good in my opinion.
It was alright, but it wasn't the best.
No, this next match I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Becky Lynch versus Lita.
Yeah, it was like a TV match.
Lita, in my opinion, honestly, watch this match, you realize that Lita has lost a step or two. You know, she's not, and this is them pandering again to the Saudis for bringing back somebody from the
Attitude Era,
the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Well, yeah,
in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, and Lita looks great. You know, she's in good shape and all of that. But she hasn't wrestled like in a singles match in a long time, and you can see.
And there were some botches in that match. Yeah, she missed a few steps.
You know, and and you can, when you hear Becky Lynch, like verbally calling out the plays to Lita. So Lita is actually, having to play second fiddle to Becky Lynch and let her, organize the match. Then you kind of know that that maybe you shouldn't have wrestled this match, in my opinion. Yeah, I think maybe they could have made it into a tag team match, have a couple of legends versus a couple of newbies. That would have possibly been a little bit of a better way to go, in my opinion. They kind of already done a females tag team match already, so maybe they thought they had to make this a singles match. But this is a bit like Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, but for women, And
they teased it, and they teased it too, like this is it for Lita. Like, okay, long story short, Becky Lynch fucking wins, and then they pander to Lita for like 5 minutes. And she's sitting there crying, and she's all like, "Thank you, guys, thank you." And it's like, I don't like it when they do this send-off shit for everybody multiple fucking times. Like it's like
a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's like she's already in the Hall of Fame. We don't need to do a send-off. We don't need to act like this is her last match. Like, she lost. Let's move on.
I agree. So we have one of the greatest tag team matches I've ever seen in my entire life. And you were fine with this, yeah. But me, I was bothered by this because for me, there's nothing worse than having a championship match that is just nothing. It kind of reminded me of the WrestleMania match between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, for the heavyweight title. Like, what the fuck?
This
like, when they do these sort of Raw, SmackDown type of scenarios on a pay-per-view, I'm never happy. The whole point about these moments are that these guys wrestling is that we're supposed to get wrestling. The talk is over. Give us wrestling, but no, these are just segues into stories. Even if it was like maybe 5, 6 minutes, give us that. I'd rather take that than this, because what we got was the Viking Raiders coming into the ring, and then the Usos beating the shit out of them outside the ring.
Yep.
It was fucking stupid.
And this is literally what they did. They did this. Yeah. All right. What you're going to do, you're going to go out there, you're going to ambush them, and that'll sell. You guys are going to wrestle at WrestleMania just based off an ambush. Ha ha ha. Literally phoning it in. That was all they did. This is formulaic 101. Instead of having these guys go out there, instead of doing something like a fuck finish, you have the Usos do the heel shit, jump the Viking Raiders, and now we're going to stretch this shit out to WrestleMania just based off of an ambush. And I don't give a shit.
And this is the thing I was saying earlier regarding how the pay-per-views in Saudi Arabia are no longer this amazing thing anymore, because
they're an extension of Monday Night Raw. Yep.
Yeah, they're doing this shit now. The shit that you would never see on the Saudi pay-per-view, but they're giving us guaranteed matches.
Yep.
They're now doing this shit. So not happy at all by this.
Nope.
I know you're all right with it because
I don't really care either way.
You went, move on.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck either way, because I'm like, the Usos, they've done it all. The Viking Raiders, they've won the tag team titles before. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, this is a pay-per-view. I want to see fucking wrestling.
I know, let them fight. Yeah, like you couldn't at least, like, They couldn't have done something where one of the Viking Raiders got like taken out like midway through the fucking match, and then you couldn't have the Usos fucking cheat to win or some shit. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
show us the abilities of these wrestlers. That's the whole point.
They
You know what I mean?
literally
You bring
flew
them,
over
you
there
send them halfway around the world,
to
just
do
for them to
literally
fucking get
nothing.
squashed.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Or they couldn't have
All
even
right.
they couldn't have even like fought their way to the back. That would have been something. Like it would have been like, okay, we're not going to get a match, but at least they're fighting their way to the back.
Actually, that reminds me, the Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss was a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah.
Yeah. That did not feel like a Falls Count Anywhere match, by the way.
It was a handicap match just with like Falls Count Anywhere stipulations. That's what that was.
Yeah. Because like they were very I remember like Drew McIntyre saying, "Yeah, I could pin you in the desert." I want to see that shit.
I know.
I want to see them fighting in the dunes of the fucking desert, man.
I know. Like, remember when like Falls Count Anywhere matches used to literally end anywhere? There was one time where
in the river and shit, bro.
Yeah, like there was one time Big Boss Man and fucking like Al Snow fought, and it ended in like a hotel room. Or there was a time when like Road Dogg and Al Snow fought, and it ended in a fucking snowbank. I'm like, go back to that type of shit. Like,
I don't mind it ending up back in the ring, but just go out. If you're gonna do Full Count Anywhere, then get the fuck out of there, man. Go everywhere. Okay, let's have a look. Through the music says WWE use their talent. You saw what happened with Cesario.
Yeah.
WWE are the best at not using the talent they got, and WWE, in my opinion, hates, and I do mean hates, pandering to the fans. They despise it. They're in a position now where they're so rich and powerful that we minions have to accept what they give us and love it.
And they wonder why we don't watch this shit too at the same time. That's what I find so damn funny.
Yeah.
They're like,
they are so,
why are people not watching our content? It's like, gee, look at yourselves.
Exactly. So the fact that they expect us to watch their shit and like it the way they want it and not give us what the fans want. Like when the fans wanted Daniel Bryan, they didn't want to get they reluctantly gave us that. When the fans wanted CM Punk, they didn't give us that. When the fans wanted Damien Sandow, they didn't give us that. When the fans wanted
Zack Ryder, a heel turn, they didn't give us that. Yep.
Yeah, they didn't give us that. Well, the moment Hulk Hogan came back as a heel, with the NWO, within a month he was already a face again, and it's the red and yellow and all that shit. Hulk Hogan as a heel in the WWE for a decent period would have been a good thing, but no, they just they don't want to do that. They want to make Cena a heel. Don't want to make Rey Mysterio a heel. I would love to see that, man. I would love to see Rey Mysterio tell all the fucking fans and the kids to go fuck themselves. I would love to see that, man. I mean, same with John Cena and shit like that. Like, spice it up a bit here and there.
If you want to turn Rey Mysterio, if you want to turn Rey heel, here's what you do: put him in a suit and tie. That's his attire right there. Have him go completely fucking corporate. Be like, yo, I got to make bank somehow, so you little motherfuckers fuck off. Like, that's how
exactly.
Mysterio.
Yeah, exactly. All these sort of things, and this, like an entertaining product. I mean, so often they want to make money there and then. They just don't think of the long term, and Anyway,
funny you mentioned that. Funny you mentioned that because this last match is going to be, speaking of short-term fucking fixes. So let's go.
Okay, so we have the men's Elimination Chamber, and that consists of Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Matt Riddle. I just can't call him Riddle, by the way. He's Matt Riddle.
He's Matt Riddle.
And Seth freaking Rollins.
If anybody else thought anybody other than Brock was winning this, you are a fucking moron. If you honestly thought that anyone else was winning this match, I don't know what
Let me tell you this. The moment Lashley
got taken out with his concussion,
then any doubt was gone.
Yep.
You kind of knew where it was going because Brock Lesnar was like, okay, what's on the menu today? Oh, we have some AJ Styles. And then Austin Theory.
He made everybody his bitch. Like anybody that came across Brock Lesnar, he's like, he was in total, I'm going to make you my bitch mode. And Brock did exactly that with everybody. Especially
look, I'm in a ring full of actual wrestling workers, proper wrestlers. I'm in a room full of them. Let me fucking let them make sure that they put me over, which is what they're supposed to do. No, I have not got myself a mini fridge, by the way. I don't intend on ever getting one anytime soon. That's for sure. So, but yes, Bobby Lashley kind of surprisingly got injured in this match. Well, he was already injured, but they were doing a work to make him look like he got injured when somebody got thrown into his pod by Brock Lesnar. No, not Brock Lesnar. Sorry, somebody else.
Seth Rollins did the buckle bomb, I think, to AJ, and then it caused Bobby to fucking whiplash back into the chamber.
People were taking it seriously because you saw all the backstage officials,
doctors and all that shit. Like, they were treating this like a real thing. But for those that don't know, what the fuck is wrong with my couch, man?
One second.
All right. But anyway, he gets thrown into the fucking pod, and then they have all the doctors and all that shit come on out. And they've got all the doctors that come on out, and then it's like, oh, Lashley's all hurt and shit like that. So now we're going to go ahead and continue the match. And then Brock Lesnar proceeded to just break his way out the fucking chamber and make everybody his bitch.
Well, the funny thing is, a lot of people were expecting the old cliche of, okay, Bobby Lashley's coming back any minute now.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We even thought that. We were like, oh, he's going to come back. Yeah.
So, he said sorry, by the way. Death through Theory. Yeah, I recall now.
Yeah, Seth through Theory through the fucking pod gimmick.
Because they have amazing physiques, bandits, and so
Vince McMahon likes that kind of shit, damn it.
Yeah, I mean...
You don't question it. Ha, ha, ha.
Yes, I'm working. I'm Mr. I'm like fucking Kofi Kingston. I'm Mr. 24/7. So, yeah.
But give Austin Theory a raise. That's all that needs to be said. Because for somebody to take that fucking F5, kind of half-ass land on his feet / pod, he landed like on his feet and then fell backwards. And then Brock pinned him. And then we all were like, oh, okay, is this it? Is this it? And then they go off the fucking air. And then they have confirmed it. Winner take all at WrestleMania. If this doesn't scream short-term fix to you, I don't know what will. Because that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, and now the roles are reversed because now the only thing different is Roman Reigns is the heel.
Yep.
And Brock Lesnar is the face. Yeah, but we've been here before, and
we saw this 4 years ago, literally 4 fucking years ago.
It feels more recent, in my opinion, but
Theory took too many bumps.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Theory took so many bumps. Got to give credit where it's. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm not like razzmatazz by the F5 as much as a lot of people because. It was just well executed. He would land on his feet, which is fine, and then he will just sell it like he's taking a bump, So as long as he lands on his feet, it was all good, in my opinion. And when you're that athletic, landing on your feet is not a problem. Sam, did you cry when Big Show body slammed Roman Reigns into a London taxi cab? You little fucker. Yes, I was absolutely fucking, in severe remorse. I couldn't get over it for fucking days.
That cab had a family.
Yeah, and like, how dare you fucking damage taxis? Especially London ones. But
okay, so far, are we excited for WrestleMania? Because I know we're going to get that question. No, hell no.
Well, they're not building new stars. Like they've done the John Cena treatment on Roman Reigns, but this time they've given in on the fact that they had to make him a heel. When obviously they didn't want to, but him being a heel has probably been the thing that has saved his career.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion, as a top flight guy. But they're not just WWE. Just like they haven't built they need a plethora of stars, and they haven't built them because they put all their eggs in one basket all the fucking time.
We're so desperate that we're gonna have Kevin Owens constantly trash Texas on Twitter. As if that's not to say, hey, Steve, let's go.
No, music, you misunderstood me. I wouldn't want him to land on his body. I'm just saying, that landing on his feet, which is the right thing to do, takes away from the fact, just takes away the whole the move, like I don't get me wrong. I mean, there's no right way of explaining it. I don't want to take him. You know, I'm just saying it's not that spectacular. That's all.
Yeah, the way Theory landed was kind of weird. It was like the time when Diesel gave the jackknife to Shawn Michaels, and Shawn, if you watch it, Shawn kind of half-assed lands on his feet and then just falls backwards. It was kind of the same thing with Austin Theory.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor.
People watch a bit of Mary Poppins and they think that's how us fucking Brits talk. You know, have you seen me, hello, Governor, this whole fucking podcast? But yeah, regarding WrestleMania, wait, Fatty, stop making so much noise. Regarding WrestleMania, not fussed about it. You know, nothing stands out. WWE haven't made new stars. Anybody that the fans like, they never push. They only push who they like, and the fans don't like. And
as long as we got our money, why would we need to change? You know what I'm saying?
Goldberg is always escorted by cops. It's his gimmick, dude.
Yeah, it's been his gimmick ever since he showed up in WCW.
And he's one of the few wrestlers where we don't see him enter the ring from the Titantron. We see him coming out from his fucking dressing room.
Actually, I haven't done that these past few times that he showed up. They've actually made him like go through the entranceway all normal and shit. And he didn't even have security either.
He's probably fucking in a retirement home.
Last I heard with Gilbert, he had a heart attack, but this was like I think about a year ago.
It's amazing though. They bring up Gilbert to mock Goldberg, and then they end up hiring Goldberg so much so that they need to use him as a legend to bring attention. But right now, Goldberg has become a joke, especially after what happened in the Elimination Chamber. He's no longer a draw in any capacity. And I never, ever want to see him wrestle again.
And I'm going to ask the chat, how are we feeling about Steve Austin? Me personally, no, dude.
Never.
Stay the fuck away, please.
I hope.
Yeah, please don't come back. Please don't come back. Is he going to do it? I pray to God he don't. I pray to God he don't.
The guy hasn't wrestled in 20 fucking years.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, he doesn't need to be wrestling. The guy, when you're out of the ring that long, you can't take the bumps like you used to. Mm-mm. He's not getting any younger. He could do a fucking.
If y'all are gonna have
Stone Cold and paralyze himself.
Yeah. If y'all are gonna have Stone Cold and Kevin Owens do something like, "Hey, motherfucker, what the shit? Why are you trashing Texas?" And then he's like, "Well, fuck Texas." Blah 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 blah. And then Stone Cold stuns him. I'm like, that's his WrestleMania moment. I'm like, not in an actual match. Stone Cold's done that.
Like him and Roddy Piper when they had that verbal joust.
Yeah. Why not do that? Why not have Kevin Owens? Yeah. Why not have Kevin Owens? Why not have Kevin Owens come out and do a talk show segment and say, "Welcome to the KO show," and then my guest tonight is, the fucking savior of this piece of shit state, Texas, and then Stone Cold could come out and be like, "Hey, man, what the fuck? Like, you've been trashing Texas all this time. What's wrong with it?"
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're here.
He wouldn't even address him. He'd be talking to the crowd. You know what I mean? And then like going on one of his waffles and talking about how he's looking at his watch, and he'll be getting everyone to say what and stuff. And then he'll address Kevin Owens to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nevertheless, a verbal jousting with a stunner at the end is the way to go. But honestly,
I do not want to see Steve Austin wrestle.
No, but even that itself is nothing special
because he's done it so many times.
Yeah, he's done it so many fucking times. People want to see him wrestle. I don't want to see him wrestle. I don't want to see The Rock wrestle.
One time I actually marked out for it was when they were in the UK, and this was in 2003 when you had Jericho, Bischoff, and Stone Cold all out there, and they were all like, "This is the name of, this is London, like home of the Who, home of the Beatles." And then what? That was the time that shit worked because it was so funny where Chris Jericho was like rattling off everything about London. And then Stone Cold was just like, what? And then he fucking stunned Jericho. That was some cool shit.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Stone Cold come back.
Hell yeah. There you go. You got it from me.
Hell yeah.
Didn't he have this beard truck? Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
I'm fed up of people being showered by liquid. WWE love going to that fucking well as well.
Mm-hmm.
De Jose, are you Sin Cara? Yes,
no,
he is.
Not. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Oh, there you go. So, but apart from Brock versus Reigns, what else is there that's going to be special?
AJ versus Edge is the only thing I give a shit about because Edge did actually. No, that's why I
First
give a
time.
shit about it. This is the first time they're ever going to have a match against each other. That I care about. Edge versus AJ is the only WrestleMania match I want to see, which is sad. A superstar versus diva match. Yeah, you're not even going to get that in the video games.
AJ in the WWE has not come close to AJ in TNA, not even remotely close.
Nah.
You know, I think AJ's lost a step for a
Can
start.
you imagine
you know?
Can you imagine if he jumped 10 years ago when he was a bit younger? That would have been the time to bring in
maybe,
AJ.
but I don't think we were. I mean, he was actually a jobber in the WWE for a while.
Yeah.
People forget, but I just don't. I think AJ is who he is because what he was able to offer in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
If he came to WWE, I mean, there's a lot of these wrestlers who've got more to them than we realize, but they're never necessarily allowed to show all their skill set. And to a degree, AJ Styles in the WWE has not been allowed to show his entire skill set. Maybe he's too fucking old for it now. Who knows?
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's his age.
Yeah,
because he's not that young anymore.
Yeah.
Mark Henry with dreadlocks or bald. Zam, guess which one I prefer?
Bald.
I'm going to say bald. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a thing for boldness. You know what I mean? So.
But yeah, we are not. Other than, and to be honest, the highlight for WrestleMania for me doesn't even have anything to do with WrestleMania. It has to do with the fact that The Undertaker is going in the Hall of Fame, and that's about it. Other than that, I don't really give a shit about WrestleMania other than those two things.
They should have made somebody else win the Royal Rumble, and they could have still ended up with Brock Lesnar fighting Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. They could have made that's for the Universal belt, so they could have made the Royal Rumble win the fight for the WWE belt, and they could have created a new star that way.
But this is the problem. This is the problem. It's a short-term fix, which was what I was going to get into. This shit will mean absolutely nothing in 3 months because Vince McMahon is going to hit the panic button because that interest will drop ultimately after WrestleMania.
All right, John Cena, here's a blank checkbook. Mm-hmm. What do you need? What do I need you to come back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And John Cena now, he's a different guy now. He's a totally different animal now. Like he's swearing and shagging and doing drugs in movies and television shows.
Hey, Rock, we know you're busy, but what you doing for next year's WrestleMania? We know that's what the call is ultimately going to come to. And I know people are going to get mad, but I'm going to say it. Rock, don't come back. Please don't.
His comeback was awful, dude. Mm-hmm. The guy, the handful of matches he had weren't that great,
The one against Cena was perfect in 2012 when he came back in 2012 and he won that match against Cena. That should have been it right there. It should have been like, okay, cool. Rock won in his home state, in his hometown. That's it. But what did they do? They stretched it out so Cena could get his win back. AJ Styles was built in TNA and peaked in New Japan. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad in the way that he's kind of become an established top tier guy when he came into the WWE because, the TNA AJ, I never really saw him in Japan.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh man, that guy, if he was wrestling, I would want to watch it.
Yeah.
Him and Christopher Daniels in their rivalry, one of the best rivalries I've ever seen.
Greatest match in TNA history, AJ Daniels and Joe. Everybody needs to see it.
Him and Samoa Joe as well. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. And then fighting in the 6-sided rings as well, which gave more innovation to their matches.
God damn, if they had all jumped in 2005, man, can you imagine? If they had all jumped in 2005, man, WWE would be.
I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, you got to look at Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And it begins and ends with him. Mm-hmm. And if he wants you to succeed, you will succeed. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's really where it ends, and it begins and ends with him. And as much as we think that things would improve with these guys jumping ship, look at someone like Samoa Joe. I remember he did a promo against Jeff Hardy. One of the best promos I heard in recent years.
Oh yeah, when he told him hey, motherfucker, he was like, hey, motherfucker, I know you're used to AA meetings, so unless you plan on shutting up, shut the fuck up, or whatever it was that he said.
It was just so good. It just reminded me that Joe's the complete package.
Yep.
And
what did they do with him? Nothing.
He should have been a monster heel in the WWE, and and they blew it. You know,
Yeah.
he became like Taz 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, they tried to make him like the Taz of the announcers, and it was like, okay, Joe on commentary, that's something you could do when he retires, but Joe wasn't done yet, and yet they sidelined. Yep.
So, anyways, but
thus far we're not. So far, we don't give a shit about WrestleMania.
Zeb Coulter, a sergeant, I have no idea, but he's got that mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Cesaro, yes, he's gone on to pastures new.
Thank God.
He's future endeavored himself.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the sewers? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
AJ Styles versus
Okada was awesome. That kicked ass.
JBL's gimmick was basically a modern day version of Ted DiBiase.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's basically what it was. You know,
he even admitted it too. He was like, he even admitted it. He's like, I stole it from Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, nothing wrong in that. You know, fucking Hulk Hogan stole his gimmick from bloody Superstar Billy Graham. So I'm about to say Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, but thus far, I know people are going to ask us, are we doing a watch along? I don't plan on it for WrestleMania. Oh yeah,
it's a bit difficult for me.
We forgot to mention. The fucking what the fuck is it with y'all not destroying the announce tables whenever you go to Saudi Arabia? The Saudi Arabia announce table didn't even get fucked with one time. That pissed me off.
I wanted to see it smashed to pieces.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I wanted to see it smashed to pieces, and then somebody like breaking it in half and then threatening a decapitation on one of the wrestlers. He just gets out the way. I'm going to cheat. Oh my God, King, he's going to chop. No, sorry, not King. Oh my God, or whatever. He's going to chop his goddamn head off. In Saudi Arabia, of all places.
No, but to answer your question, Bandit, no, JBL's not with the WWE currently at the moment.
Yeah, the guy's loaded anyway. So
yeah, he's set. So he's like, fuck this, I don't need it.
A lot of these wrestlers, they don't really need wrestling anymore, but it's good for them to have it. I mean, someone like JBL can just walk back into WWE like a fine pair of shoes, like Kane, for instance. I mean, he's got more going for him outside the wrestling industry, but he can still come back into it and have no issues. You know, Jesse Ventura as well. Like he's made it. A lot of these guys are getting into politics. It's quite amazing.
Yep.
You know, I like Jesse Ventura. It's funny in a way. Jesse Ventura, always a heel in wrestling. But he's a face, really in my opinion, in politics.
In real life.
Yeah. I like the guy a lot. You know, I wouldn't mind him being president, you know, honestly. But people say, well, what about this issue? But look, nobody's fucking perfect.
No,
not even someone like Bernie Sanders, who I like. Yeah, nobody's fucking perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather have somebody who is not bigoted, you know, in any form, any capacity, who wants to bring benefits to regular people, doesn't give a fuck about billionaires and millionaires. You know, those are the sort of angles I'm looking for from a politician who wants to help the regular people more than fucking rich people.
And chances are we won't see that shit in this lifetime, but yeah. I don't know.
Knows, man. Fuck knows. But anyways, that's the
chamber.
Just born a loser.
Personally,
I guess
I find the Roman as a winged pheasant sign to be funnier for some reason. I don't know why, but I always found that sign funny.
Well, I knew when he had I think one of the worst things for JBL is when he had the I Quit match. Which I think I Quit matches need to be thrown in the bin. You know, that they're not good matches to have, in my opinion.
No, I still cringe at watching Royal Rumble '99. I can't watch that one as much anymore. Knowing what we know now.
I remember when Rey Mysterio had the I Quit match with Chavo Guerrero
and he
on SmackDown.
And he obliterated his fucking leg.
No, but he was supposed to quit, you know, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It was which caught everyone by surprise. But fair enough, it was done really well.
Mm-hmm.
But it still caught people by surprise. But I think I Quit matches can really bury a wrestler who quits. You know, you're not doing, you know, especially when John Cena, he's been in 2 or 3 of them, and like this guy needs any more elevation. You know what I mean?
Bam Bam Bigelow. What about? Oh yeah, okay. With Bam Bam, it's a crime that Bam Bam's not in the Hall of Fame yet. God damn it!
Really? That's a surprise. How did they do? Oh, well, you almost fucking died, Ray Trailer.
Yeah.
From that, by the way, he was getting asphyxiated, man. These things, they go too far. WWE, they always, you think this as they've learned a lesson, but they take things too fucking far. Just have some wrestling matches for fuck's sake. People know it's not fucking real. Stop making us think it's real. Just entertain us. Give us good choreography and make us entertain that way. You don't need to take shit to this next level.
And then after they hung him, it didn't go anywhere. Is Daniel Bryan a goat?
Well, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a goat sort of thing he was being given, wasn't he? Like some sort of goat gimmick.
When he was like, I think with the Wyatt family or whatever the fuck, I think so. But other than that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So. Okay, so I think
there's not really much else to add. But tonight we'll be doing the weekly.
Oh, Cody Rhodes, by the way. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, we could touch on him before we go.
I don't know anything about this. All I know is that I think everybody was shocked that if somebody was going to jump ship from AEW to WWE, it wouldn't be Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. You would have thought it would have been somebody like a Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho's been there and back.
Yeah, exactly.
He will go back. Chris Jericho's going to go
Cody
back.
Cody Rhodes has been there and back, so.
Oh, yeah.
But you considering Cody Rhodes kind of felt like a founding father of AEW, a bit like a Jeff Jarrett, so to speak. That you didn't expect him to come back to to WWE, and now it looks like he is.
Yeah, and how people think it's going to go, it's either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to go really, really well, or it's going to be a flash in the pan where we won't give a fuck about it.
Well, it's faked in the sense that, they don't go for headshots anymore, which is a good thing, and they don't do blading anymore. But these guys' bodies are so honed in taking some damage, and some of the stuff they get hit with is not so bad. I personally think they need to put more padding around chairs and ladders.
Mm-hmm.
Like the edge, the corner of ladders, in my opinion, like they could penetrate skin, but Goldust is cool. Yeah, I mean Dustin Rhodes, he's part of that era where I remember watching Dusty Rhodes versus Million Dollar Man and Virgil
at WrestleMania. I think
7. I think.
Yep.
We're talking that long ago, and he's still wrestling today.
That was over 30 fucking years ago. God, I feel old.
Yeah.
Vader's not. I remember that. Yeah, Stan Hansen and Vader, they did not like each other. I don't even think they liked each other up to the point where Stan Hansen got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So,
but we got to get ready to wrap this shit up.
Cody Rhodes.
Let's touch on Cody. I don't really give a shit what they do with Cody, because I'm like, if they put the title on him, cool, but I don't see them going that far with him. I kind of see. Go ahead.
I think there's a big deal. There's a big deal being made that Cody Rhodes might come to WWE. Like, honestly, like, I think they want it to be made as a big deal, but you've never made Cody a big deal in the WWE for it to be a fucking big deal. His big deal came when he was in the AEW, where he was a top tier guy. But now he's gone to WWE, where he was a mid card at best.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Worst thing they could do to him is put the 24/7 title on him. That's the worst fucking thing they could do to him.
Hey, well, look, he'll come back in, have a little bit of fanfare. He might even have a title. He might have a title match, lose that, and then we'll never fuck. He'll be back in mid card mediocrity.
Yep.
For the rest of his career whilst he's in the WWE, he'll never be seen as a top guy.
No,
in my opinion.
And then he'll go back to AEW, and then they're going to treat it like some savior heroes welcome. And then Cody might get back up to where he was, but I don't see. Yeah, Mankind just laughing.
No, but that's because wrestlers back then didn't know any better, or what? Or the security and safety protocols weren't around like they are now. Like, blading is just stupid. If they bleed, let them bleed naturally. You don't need to force blood. Let them bleed fucking naturally.
I'm a fan of blood, but I'm a fan of blood when the storyline or match calls for it. Like, I'm like, okay, when it's time for it to come into play, that's when you do blading. But blading for the sake of blading.
I'm not happy with blading. I remember Eddie Guerrero's match with JBL when he
That's what kind of turned me off of blood. Yeah, when he fucking
So like, I'm not like I said. If you cut yourself open by accident, and it wasn't intentional, then just go with it.
Yeah,
it helps sell the fucking match. but just don't do it on purpose. It's just no. It's just
so
not.
stupid.
It's just not good. Yeah, it's just to cut yourself like that. You create your own Mr. Socko. Good. Go
Good for
play
you.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up because honestly, there's not much to talk about Cody Rhodes.
Nope.
Not really much to talk about Lashley's injury. I think he'll probably be back by SummerSlam, in my opinion.
We don't give a shit about WrestleMania. So for those asking, we do not care.
You might get some of us, maybe Ginger Greek or whoever. Maybe you, Jose. I mean, I'm sure come close to the time you might want to watch it.
I don't think so, but we'll see. So far,
the Elimination Chamber was an easy adventure for me to go on because of the time zone difference where Saudi Arabia is. But you guys being 5 hours behind means that you start at 7, I start at 1.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and WrestleMania is usually a 4 or 5 hour affair.
And this is 2 fucking days, and I'm not sitting through that bullshit.
Oh yeah. They need to go back to 1 day again.
Yep.
Yeah. They need to go back to 1 fucking day. Oh God, 2 days.
I mean, we might do a preview, but as far as counting on this to be a watch along type of shit for 2 days, y'all are asking a lot. I mean,
we'll see who in our we'll see who wants to do it in our group. All
right, we'll answer this one last question. Bad News Barrett, what happened to him? He basically was getting over. Vince didn't like it, and then he fucking up and left. And then he came back as a commentator.
Yeah, Vince hates people getting over, doesn't he? He really does. It's like, okay, well, look, this guy's popular. Well, I don't like him.
I don't like him.
Why do you fucking hire him then?
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Friday Night Breakdown. There will be another show later on with a collaboration between us and No Budget Production. Yeah. I won't be on tonight because my big brother has come down to London from 125 miles away to see some childhood friends of his who live in London still, and he's spending the night at my place.
Nice.
So I won't be doing a 4 o'clock in the morning jobby because I need to spend time with my bro. He wants to check out my electric car and all of that because he's looking to get one himself. So yeah, we'll be doing some siblingness tomorrow. So
and tonight we will be covering Horizon Forbidden West. All of you must buy that game, or I will body slam you through a table.
Yeah, you heard him. Get Horizon Forbidden West, and keep an eye out for stuff here on NerdTube. I have an unboxing, by the way, video coming out tomorrow, Jose. I bought some more shirts. So I've done the recording of it today, and it'll be coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
And I will be doing a play along of the Uncharted game, starting with Drake's Fortune, the first one of the series. Okay, everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Live long and prosper. Take care and goodbye.
Bye-bye.